Greetings from New York City. You might be wondering, why is he dressed like this? It's to prove a point. You should not judge YouTubers by their appearances. As I've learned from becoming more active on YouTube, many of the YouTubers that people tell me to check out, they look like they know something, but they really don't. Or they're just doing something that is really stupid, or they're exploiting the fact that their audience doesn't realize how stupid what they're getting them to do actually is. And I'll use this guy, Meet Kevin, as an example here. I don't know Kevin personally. Nothing against him personally. I'm just going off of what I see here. This was actually something that was prompted by one of you. So I appreciate the nudge, and I'll tell you what I have in store here, because we're going to learn something I think really valuable that should hopefully save you a lot of time, or at least optimize the time that you put into becoming the best investor that you can be. So Meet Kevin is a really popular YouTuber. He talks about investing, real estate, even some political stuff. I was told to check his stuff out, and I'm aware of who he is. I knew some of his content, but I don't actually watch it. And I'll show you why in a second. I think it's pretty obvious.
Okay, wow. Jerome Powell today was like a dad who's mad at you for having kicked somebody's butt, and he's yelling at you. He's like, how dare you kick that kid's ass? How dare you do that? But he's got this little smirk on his face. He's kind of like, how dare you? Because he's kind of proud of you. And in this case, the fight is CPI. It's like, yeah, CPI is coming down. Kick its butt, right? Kick it down. And he's kind of like...
Yeah, this guy's like a serial killer, but... I'm not going to watch any more of this. You can see in the background, he has something called Elite Hustlers University. I mean, right there, I'm like, full stop. I don't even need to watch anymore. I did kick the tires on his channel. What Meet Kevin does is he really hams up all the macro stuff, the macroeconomic stuff. And there's definitely like a cohort of investors who gravitate towards the content about, what's the Fed going to do? And typically, and I say this with a lot of respect, but typically it's because they don't realize that what they're doing is totally pointless and stupid. And that's another reason why I'm dressed like this. I wanted to look stupid while I deliver that little bit of a harsh medicine there. Here's what I mean. If you are serious about investing, you can figure out everything you need to know because it's already been figured out. I'll give you an example here. To build wealth in the stock market, you need to find something that you can plant your feet in and not move and let it compound over a long period of time. What happens is, for these people that are playing the macro games, where they're trying to say, okay, what's the Fed going to do? Or I'm going to sell this position and dodge over here. And they're not harnessing the full power of compounding, because compounding really works best when you don't interrupt it. Charlie Munger has this great quote, and it's that there are huge mathematical advantages to doing nothing. And that's not always the case in life, but there are huge mathematical advantages to doing nothing. What the Meet Kevins of the world try to exploit is the fact that it's not our natural way to do nothing. We want to be doing something. It feels more productive, but it's really not in investing. And that's just one of the many counterintuitive realities that you need to understand if you want to be a great investor, or at least the best investor that you could be. Now, Meet Kevin, on the other hand, is perfectly fine exploiting this. I don't know if he knows better or not. I'm not judging the guy. I mean, I was judging him earlier because he kind of creeps me out with the serial killer vibes. Anyone that smiles like that and is so overly positive, I feel like their dark side must be so extreme. At least on this channel, you see all my sides. I'm not hiding anything. I put together a montage of Charlie Munger talking about why macroeconomic predictions are of no use to him or Warren Buffett, and they have been no use to them in their storied investment careers. Let me share that with you in a moment. I do want to give a shout out to Charlie Munger Quotes on Instagram. If you don't know, that's the page that I created during the pandemic. It's gotten very popular, and I just wanted to showcase the best wisdom and wit of Charlie Munger. I made this a little bit earlier today. I believe there's 3 different interviews, speeches, lectures where Charlie Munger essentially says the same thing, but it really is a good montage, and I'm enjoying putting these together. Let me know what you think in the comments. And by the way, I love the comments you all have been leaving. It seems like the content is really resonating. If you have a moment, please share it with a friend, especially if you find something relevant or funny. As they say, and I'll use a mental model here, homophily, birds of a feather flock together. So if you find something worth watching, in all likelihood, one of your close friends will too. So I hope you'll take a second and share it with them. There's a share button, send them a text. That's how we help this thing grow. And I really do want to make something great here. So appreciate you all. And let's hear what Charlie Munger has to say.
Berkshire has not made its progress in life by making wonderful macroeconomic predictions. We figured out how some things were very likely to do way better than other things.
Warren and I have not made our way in life by making successful macroeconomic predictions and betting on our conclusions. Our system is to swim as competently as we can, and sometimes the tide will be with us and sometimes it will be against us. But by and large, we don't much bother with trying to predict the tides because we plan to play the game for a long time. I recommend to all of you exactly the same attitude. It's kind of a snare and a delusion to outguess macroeconomic cycles. Very few people do it successfully, and some of them do it by accident. When the game is that tough, why not adopt the other system of swimming as competently as you can and figuring that over a long life you'll have your share of good tides and bad tides. I did not make my fortune by predicting macroeconomic changes better than other people. What Buffett and I did was we bought things that were promising. Sometimes we had a tailwind from the economy and sometimes we had a headwind. And either way, we just kept swimming. That's our system.
That's their system. It almost seems too simple to be true. But at the end of the day, if you really get down to the first principles of investing, it's about businesses. That's what we're really dealing with. We're dealing with businesses. What I see happening now, and even on the Meet Kevin channel, they are flipping out over what Elon Musk is doing today because they all got lucky on Tesla. And now it's just this, like, what's Jerome Powell doing? Oh my God, what's the CPI going to look like? All that is a waste of time. And I really believe that someone like Meet Kevin and his channel is just taking advantage of the fact that his audience doesn't realize how stupid it is. At one point in my investing journey here, I'm sure I paid attention to macro stuff, but I can tell you firsthand, and we can back this up with legendary investors like Charlie Munger and Warren Buffett, there's really no use if you're a serious long-term investor. It doesn't mean you can't be interested in it, but at the end of the day, that's not going to change the fact of whether you're able to find a great business at a reasonable price. If you want to build wealth in the stock market, you need to buy things you can hold for decades. That is the most reliable way to do it. It's very difficult for most people to find stocks and do it successfully, let alone hold on when things are going up and down. But if you do something like a low-cost index fund, which again, I'm not saying you should do it, but it's a very sensible ways where you can compound money quietly over a long period of time and save a lot of time and not waste it paying attention to Elite Hustlers University. I mean, come on. I mean, at the end of the day, would you rather listen to someone who was able to convince Warren Buffett to adjust the way that he invested and become his partner, or a guy that is, wearing, it looks like a very flashy suit with a screen behind him that says Elite Hustlers University? But again, a lot of people judge appearances and they say, oh, he's so old. Just like people probably see Meet Kevin and think that, oh, he has money. But Meet Kevin didn't make any money investing in the stock market. If he did, he got lucky and he's probably lost it by now. I'm not wishing that on him, but I'm just being realistic here. And I'd welcome a debate with this guy anytime. I'm sure he's a nice guy, probably, before he kills you. But on that note, thanks so much for watching. I hope this was interesting to you. For more updates, for more videos like this, please hit the subscribe button. You never know what I'm going to be wearing. In the meantime, I have to go and jimmy a car door open and take out a stereo. So later.
If you stick with stocks that can't possibly be wonderful to just put away in your safe deposit box for 40 years, then you have to keep moving around all the time. The investing where you find a few great companies and just sit on your ass because you've correctly predicted the future, that is what it's very nice to be good at.
It's the long-term investment that works best.